accomplish that is we're simply going to operate from the Start menu. Although I've launched Movie Maker before, and as you can see, it's right here in our little quick start area, we're going to go to long way and go to all programs. And if I slide up and down, of course, Movie Maker is right there, but you have your folders, the way I have it organized, down here at the bottom. And as we come up, we see that Movie Maker is one of the Windows options. We simply click on it, launch, and voila, Movie Maker is up and running. So that gets us going. It doesn't matter what version of Movie Maker you're using, of Windows you're using, this is the way to get started. Built into the Windows operating system. What Windows Movie Maker does is it empowers the user to record video and audio from various sources. This can be from your camcorder or your digital camera that does video capture, even from DVDs, VCRs, CDs, multiple sources. Again, these can be audio and or video sources. And by importing this raw, what we're going to call, or source material, we can now use Windows Movie Maker, and we will throughout this course, to store these sources on our computer, and then to edit them, to create an edited what I would call movie production. This editing can be just a matter of manipulating the input source data, or combining that original input source data with some other source, again from another camcorder, DVD, from a live feed, from VHS, or what have you, pictures, images, in the whole 9 yards. And that can even be combined with audio, such as text, special effects, voiceovers, and so on. So here we have an introductory screen to what it looks like when Windows Movie Maker is open. This is the Vista version of it, and this is our starting point, our navigation point. Now a little bit about the Windows Movie Maker work area. Again, we're looking at the Vista version, but they're all roughly the same. I'll point out a slight difference between Vista and XP, which you'll notice here. In one section we have the menu bar up at the top, and there's a little pointer up there, and of course there are the normal Windows menu options such as File, Edit, View, Tools, Clips, Play, and Help, and we'll look at those here in just a moment. In addition, up in that area in XP, you have a toolbar, which is much like the Windows toolbar, quick shortcut type ways to access many of the features that are available right up there in the menu area. There's a control panel, a content panel. In that content panel, it will show us the media that we have input and imported. If you look over on the task side to the left, the task pane, there's the import portion, and we can import, as we mentioned earlier, from video camera, video images that had already been taken. The video camera is more like a live feed or from a remote device. Video is stored on our hard drive just as pictures or images are, JPEG, etc., and music. And of course, we have imported items already under Edit, so effects, transitions, titles, and credits, which we'll talk about much later, are already there. We can use those under the Edit menu. Once all is said and done, we can output it, or what's called publish, to various media, and you can see the computer, DVD, CD, etc. But anyway, over in the task pane, those are things that we will do. The preview pane, we don't see anything there now, but that will show us what's highlighted currently, and it could be a particular image that we have selected down in the storyboard area, for example, or in the content area, or also it can be kind of a culmination of it. And when I say it's culmination, the storyboard, as you see different squares there, which represents various, let's just call it frames at the moment. Those frames come together to comprise a movie, and of course, should that be the case and we decide to play it, we would see the entire movie content display in our preview pane, as you will see shortly. What we're looking at here is a timeline all we've done, and you'll see how we do this in a moment, is down at the lower section of the movie maker area, manipulation or work area, we've changed from storyboard, which only showed us kind of image type formatting. In other words, graphical visual things such as the video, such as picture images, and there was no area there where you can look at things like the music and or what's called title overlay. So in the timeline, we're able to kind of look at time sequence a lot better, and also it gives us the ability to line up and match audio, music, voice, any type of audio, as well as any title overlays that we may want. This is beautiful from a general movie production editing standpoint, because although we're looking at Windows Movie Maker at the moment, this type of technique is consistent throughout the video editing universe. Now let's take a look at the individual menus here, starting with the File menu. The menu bar at the top, generically speaking, is much like all the menu bars that you see throughout the Windows universe, so it makes it easy to kind of have some grounds of familiarity. But if you look here at the File menu, you notice a couple of differences, such as right under the Save, or even at the Save, and all the others. We're talking about a project, so all of these things are considered projects that we open up. Whether there's an existing project, we start a new one, we save as, which allows us to name it uniquely. And of course, again, video related type items, so we can actually publish, we can import media items in general from a source such as video, or we can start a new folder. So there are a few things that are different. And we'll have to use a couple of these as we progress, but this is the File menu. Now here what we're doing is taking a look at the next menu over from File. This is the Edit menu. Under the Edit menu, we can do things like undo, redo, and all the other edit things that you're accustomed to. A couple of differences is there are things specific to the title as well as the timeline, and again, we'll probably use some of these things as we progress, but it's a standard Windows Edit menu, as you can see. Taking a look at the View menu, there's some obvious things here like you'd see under most views. You got some zooming, and now of course there are some thumbnails and details and arranging icons and that kind of thing, but a few things that are different are the storyboard and timeline. We saw something about this a moment ago. You see the result here at the very bottom where we've got a timeline set up now. There's some items there, video items. There's room here to be a little more creative. You can set time sequences for the video, as well as lay audio and title and line up time sequences with those as well. And at the top of this view, you see there's a toggle between timeline, which is where we are now, and storyboard, and that's why a few slides ago I showed you the two results of that, but here's where you do the toggling. Also, the status bar, which we do have active, and there's another toggle here between task and collections. Right now we have collections highlighted, and if you look to the left, collections are things like effects, transitions, and items that have been imported, versus task, which we saw earlier, which are items such as, do you want to import for example, video, pictures, audio, and other manipulation type of things. So you can toggle between task and collections. Another toggle is between thumbnails and details. We're looking at thumbnails now. Thumbnails allow us to see kind of snippets of our images, whereas details shows us a few more specifics, which you'll see as we progress as well. Now we've got some tools, and these are specific to Windows Movie Maker. We can create an auto movie. We can do some things with titles and credits. We can toggle between effects and transitions, which there's some differences between the way that impacts the presentation, and at times you're going to definitely want to use that. Some that are not highlighted at the moment are creating clips and taking pictures from a preview. And as you can see, you can narrate, you can set audio levels, and got to make sure with the audio levels that you do have a sound card. If not, that may not be available to you. And then there's some options you can set through the Tools menu. So here we are with Tools. The Clip menu has some options that are specific to manipulating the clip. Again, some items are not available to us because we don't have the appropriate content here to do it, such as the add timeline and trim beginning and all the things you see grayed out. But obviously, with the proper content added, those will be available. Above and beyond that, we can do some audio and some video type of manipulation, and all of that falls under the clip menu option. Once all the editing is said and done, what we want to do is play, and we can play an entire clip, timeline, manipulate the timeline going back, forward, manipulate it, or jump or navigate via frames. So a bit of flexibility here too, all under the play menu. Following that is help, and of course everybody knows what help does throughout the Windows universe. That gets us through the menu.